What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Had an interesting wrap up to last week. We're right in the middle of ending up the year here, getting things closed out, and I officially had my first Portland, Oregon interaction, and I'm not impressed. Not impressed. Sorry if you guys are watching from there. I'm just super not impressed. So we're down here in Florida. Obviously, for the last 2 years, we've seen people running into this state as tyrannical state governments have gotten worse and worse, and our federal government is literally about to fall apart at the seams, and supply it just, as the mess starts getting gooier, we're just seeing a mad rush of people coming into our area, which is funny because I have friends who are like, oh, Trav, find me a place for like 200 something grand. Or find me because we sell real estate, we develop real estate. That's what our family does. And I'm like, no, you guys, there's literally 7 days of inventory on the market here, and it's been like that for a long time, and it's difficult to sell property down here. Nonetheless, I'm on a 5-acre project last week, 2 weeks ago, and we're mulching it in. We're kind of getting everything cleared. We're getting ready to bring in excavators. We're getting ready to have the survey guys come out, engineers, lay everything out so we can do pond and all that stuff. And so we're just at the very first phase with this client, which is get it mowed down, get it ready to go. It's a 5-acre parcel, but it's 6 guys, and they're going to build, actually 4 guys. It's 4 guys, 5 acres, and they're going to build 8 homes on it. So each guy's gonna have 2 homes, like a main home and like a little guest home, and then all their buddies from Portland, Oregon are gonna move down here to our town. Terrible experience. Never did what they said they were gonna do. Didn't pay their full bill. Didn't pay on time. Didn't call when they said they would call. Just lie after lie. And I just thought to it, and I'm like, man, something is clearly not working in Portland, Oregon. Something is clearly not working in the state of California. Something is clearly not working in New York State. There are things that are just not working, and those people are fleeing and infecting other areas. And so I speak a lot about the guy for the thing, and if you don't know who the guy is or the thing is, neither do I. We don't know who the guy is, we don't know who the thing is, but there's always a guy for the thing. When things get really bad, a guy for the thing normally shows up. I'll have other videos diving into how this happens, but essentially what occurs is that a 5% elite class will typically go against a 1% elite, and normally they'll be led by a guy for the thing, which will be somebody from the 1% that will come down to lead the 5%. And the story of history is the 5% versus the 1%. The other 95% are just along for the ride. They might feel like they partake in things, but they don't. They just get drafted when it's time to go to wars, and they send their sons to die when it's time to make sacrifices for the nation and all those things. But the 5% are actually running the show. Those are the guys signing the Declaration of Independence. Those are the Southerners, trying to break off the United States. Those are the guys in World War I, messing with Mussolini and the rest of those guys. Those are the guys in World War II, over the banking cartels and things like that. The 5% are very rarely ever behind a machine gun when things actually go down. But typically, a guy for the thing will arise, and it might be a Churchill, it could be a George Washington, it could be a Genghis Khan, it's those, an Adolf, it's those types of characters that show up. And a lot of people are like, well, Desantis is the guy for the thing. He could be the guy for the thing. A lot of people moving here are like, oh, I'm coming here because of DeSantis. DeSantis isn't the guy for the thing because he's not doing guy for the thing stuff, right? He's given a little pushback. He's definitely leading some of the counter elite, but a guy for the thing would be taxing these people coming from other states. Now, my wife, who's a realtor, my whole family is in that business. I do the development side of things. Is like, well, that would be illegal. That would be housing law discrimination to be taxing people from other states. Oh well, the guy for the thing doesn't care because he's the guy for the thing, and that's the thing about the thing. The rules are gray. The rules are bendable. You bring the guy in for the thing because he's able to do things outside of the rules. He just cleans things up. It would be like reinstating the Italian mob into Chicago right now. Give it a year, it would clean up. You might not like it, but if you put the guys for the thing in, it would clean up. There'd be other problems, but it would clean up. And so I found it very interesting and interesting to think through, because I'm now looking at, like, okay, I have a residence here and we've got family here and all those other things, but I'm now like, okay, Portland, Oregon has now shown up in my town, and these people are not cut of the same cloth as the culture around them. Two things are going to happen. One, the culture is going to slowly incentivize to push them out. But that's not normally how parasites work. Normally, parasites will just exist and thrive until they kill the host. And then they'll move on to a new area to do it again. And then what happens is the true pioneers, the true, what I would call like the people with a real American spirit, will go where they're treated best and where there is the most opportunity. And if the parasites are starting to come to your area, it's probably that the best times have passed and you're now in the back nine. Doesn't mean it's all going to collapse tomorrow, but it does mean that you're getting to a point where you're probably not, your best days are behind you in many ways, because these people go in and then they start voting or just creating things inside of the culture that start to change things, and they might deem themselves to be on one particular side or the other side. Not that I'm pretty apolitical on those issues, because I'm an anarcho-capitalist. I don't want any parties to exist. I don't want any government at any level to exist. Who would build the roads, Trav? Who would build the roads? The same people who built the roads before 1913, before there was an income tax. The same people who built the roads in America for like 125 years before we had government, before we had real government, like income tax, IRS, Federal Reserve, like real government. It works fine. If you think anarchy doesn't work, look at the 1840s and the movement out west. Very, very little law enforcement, not needed. No crime either. No one locked their doors. It's interesting how things like that balance out. But the second that there's some wealth there, the second that there's something to tax, something to take, the parasites move in, and the weaker parasites will get more boss type of characters to roll in and pull their agenda. Everyone loves a nice little progressive agenda as long as it's somebody else's money. And so nonetheless, it was kind of my experience, and I thought, wow, this is interesting. We've been seeing a lot of California plates, a lot of New York plates. If you're watching from those areas, maybe you're the problem. I don't know. Maybe I'll see you in the comments. You're probably the problem. No, it's not me. It's everyone around me. It's your culture, man. I mean, you guys were there for, I don't know, however long, your whole entire lives, and the culture around you, just that's how it went. I don't know. I'd have been out of there so long ago, but nonetheless, it was an interesting experience. And I told my wife, I was like, yo, I'm for real about like next moves. Like next moves need to be in progress like right now, because like these are not my type of people at all. They are a very their way of doing things is just not how we do things down here. It's not what made Florida awesome. It's not why Florida's a great place to be. It's like we didn't get here by just allowing the Californians and the New Yorks and the and the Oregon. Like we that's not how we got here. We got here on very little rules, very little regulations, lots of opportunity, lots of buildable land, very low cost of energy, cheap cost of housing, no state income tax, no incentive programs really of taking an income tax from one person and then redistributing it to another person. We don't have big crazy Gibbs programs like that. We just got here by, hey, it's a great place to come down here and build a business, and that's why 15, 20 years ago my dad came down here. He had a business up north. They treated him bad. He didn't like the taxes, and he moved down here where the weather was better and the taxes were like almost non-existent, and the housing, it was a lot more for a lot less. And now that story has very much changed. Florida housing is obnoxious, and it's not even that it's in a bubble. It's just there's just no housing, and people are coming down from other areas and they're like, oh well, it's cheaper than my last place. I don't care what the price is. I'll just buy it. And so it's changing the culture, and we'll see how that goes. But the guy for the thing would be throwing out some serious tax. I'm just saying, Desantis, you're looking a little soft, bro, because if you're gonna be the guy for the thing, you're gonna need to balls up. Peace.